What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GoodeBaker Podcast. My name is Nick Baker. Across from me, Shane Good.
Hey, what's up?
And we're here to talk to you about some video games. So, without further ado, let's start. What have we been playing this week? I've been playing Days Gone. Getting into that game. It's had some harsh criticism over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I think I talked about it last week. It got, I think, like a 6.5 on IGN. I think in some spots it's kind of deserved, like gameplay repetitivity and if that's a word, and where it kind of lacks in side story, like
very main story driven.
well, it's like they don't flush out certain parts that you would think they would, and it's really has a hard time getting going, I feel like, and the emotional moments that are meant to pop don't exactly get there. They don't get to where they're going soon enough. I feel like they start you in a direction. You're like, oh man, this is getting really good, and I'm starting to like really feel for these characters, and then you're taken right out of that story moment for a good 45 minutes to an hour of gameplay if you're lucky, because in between all these missions you have the freaker hordes and all these raiders and whatnot that'll come down on you with weapons, and that's where another one of the gripes of all those reviews comes in, is the melee combat is, I think, oversimplified to the point where you can kind of just roll around to do. You saw me playing a little bit before this.
Earlier, it was pretty interesting.
You can kind of roll around and cheese it a little bit and kind of keep the opponents missing some shots, and you can stand up using melee weapons to take down quite a lot of it. It really works well on the human enemies. When you start talking about hordes, they can just overwhelm you. But it does deserve a little bit of harsh criticism, where it's coming out, it's Sony Bend, it's a big Sony first party studio, and all the first parties that have been coming out, or at least Sony exclusives that have been coming out, have been really top notch, like Spider-Man, God of War. It's really stacked up against these, and unfortunately this one doesn't hit that benchmark. It's still fun. I'm having a ton of fun, like just running around killing zombies and stuff, but the story really has yet to really grip me. There's a few things that I really like, but other than that, it's not quenching the thirst, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
And then on the other side of things, in between my Days Gone depression, I've been playing Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age again.
That was on the Switch, right?
Well, it did just come out on the Switch. I've been playing it on PS4, just, you know, but whatever. Okay. The graphics, they updated it and looks great. Just as good as, I'd say, any of the top RPGs that are coming out. Like I guess it just didn't come out, but Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yep. Yeah.
Kind of has that feel of graphic style, especially for a PlayStation 2 game updated. It's pretty impressive. The Zodiac job system that they added, it was a Japanese exclusive in that version, and it's a really cool job system where you get the whole tablet of little upgrades that you can dump points into, so you can really spec out your character to the way you want it, and you pick like a specific class, like a knight or one of the foe breaker, which uses giant axes. You can really spec them out to be whatever you want them to be.
Sounds pretty cool.
But yeah, as for that, that's what I've been doing. What about you, man?
Well, you know, I've been playing some couple things. Obviously, my PoE habits still haven't. Yeah,
that game's sunk its teeth into you.
Yeah, I love that game. I'm in between, so I've been playing some Dungeon Defenders 2, which is for those of you who don't know, it's if you took Diablo 3 for loot, and then kind of like that interaction where it's a very quick base combat. You know, you get in, you can kill a ton of stuff, and you're always moving to the next piece. And you took a like top-down tower defense game, and you just kind of like, and then combined them.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's
I love tower defense.
It's 3D too, so like it's not like top down. It actually it's a fairly interesting game. It's a lot of loot and just a lot of like quick leveling, little perks here and there that all add up at the end. It's a lot of fun. I'm still getting into it, but I think my the other game that I've been playing that's really been scratching my shooter itch is the PlanetSide 2 with their new update that kind of revives the playability of the game a little bit.
That's awesome. And so this is like an older game that you're getting back into?
Yeah, it came out in early 2012 or like mid 2012, towards the summer maybe.
Now, whenever I hear the PlanetSide 2, I always think Lost Planet. So I'm like, oh, it's like third person, but no, it's we watched some gameplay. It's pretty crazy, like Battlefield on crack.
Yeah, it's big battles, lots of vehicles, lots of guns. Game's a little hard to get into at first. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of a gap where everybody's going to be better than you.
Yeah, I think that's shooters in general. If you don't keep up on it, there's just guys that know the map or know the weapons, and it just gets tough.
Yeah, but I mean, speaking of knowing the weapons, Borderlands 3, I mean, 1 billion different weapon combinations. I don't think you're ever going to be able to learn those weapons.
Okay, so yeah, that's our big thing this week is the fact that really there's nothing going on in games other than Borderlands 3. We got a big gameplay drop, and man, it looks really good. Like you said, billions of weapons.
Yeah.
Holy crap. The combinations is what surprises me the most. Like these cool different weapons that can shoot drones off of them, or they have different firing modes with missiles, and you can just use it as a sidearm, switch it real quick. It seems like they're bringing a lot of variety to those new weapons, and the loot drops are probably going to be insane. You're going to get like a missile launcher locked onto a sniper rifle, and I can only imagine the combination that's going to make. And
oh man, it's going to be so good.
So we checked out some of the gameplay. What were some of your thoughts?
Well, I mean, obviously guns being the number one, because the game's just literally gun porn.
Yeah.
I respect the fact that they haven't really changed the styling of the game too much. They've kept it very Borderlands-esque, even though it is a Borderlands game,
right.
But that very like 2D style, not 2D,
the cell shade.
Cell shade, that's what it's called. The very like cell shade style, and it's very like it's sharp. I guess they're increasing lighting on some of the stuff, which will be pretty cool.
Yeah, the lighting does seem a hell of a lot better. We were playing just this morning a little bit of the pre-sequel. We played some co-op. I just got the Handsome Collection on sale, super cheap on the PSN. So we just checked it out, and just from playing that game and watching this gameplay, I'm already sold on how the visual improvements. At first glance, it doesn't really seem like they've done a hell of a lot to get over that, but I think that where the beauty lies in it is underneath the hood, everything that's going on.
Much more smooth.
The depth
really
of everything, detail, and like you said, lighting, it all comes together, and it really makes the game pop.
It almost seems like you're moving too fast. Maybe it's because you've been sliding down all those hills, which brings me to my next thing. Yeah. You can slide now.
Oh my god.
Like
they're taking the best things of all their older games and then kind of picking at some of the things that are popular in gaming now. Like obviously Apex with their sliding. It's absolutely insane how far you can slide in that game, but having a slide and the ability to vault in this game is going to change it, I think, for the vast better.
And I mean, especially with us, just like, we were playing pre-sequel this morning, and I felt like playing pre-sequel, we didn't move quick. We couldn't get from one fight to the next.
It feels like you're guys in molasses or something, and also it doesn't help that you start on the moon there, so everything's really slowed down, and it really emphasizes the fact that you're really not moving very fast in that game. And maybe it was before to compensate for frame rate or something to that effect on the older consoles. But I think that now that they're bringing Borderlands to the next gen with 3, I think that they're really going to improve everything as far as smoothness and stability.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. And I mean, like, obviously I play computer, so Borderlands has, mods and stuff like that on computer that I've diddled around with, if you will. And there's a lot of really cool mods on there. So I'm curious to see kind of like what people are going to create and like what little add-ons they're going to do. This game, it seems like it's got so much to dig into that I'm not really sure what kind of crazy shit people are going to come up with.
Yeah. The modding community seems to really take games like this under their wing. Like, pretty similar. I actually, Shay said this earlier. She said that when I was playing Borderlands, it looked a lot like Fallout, and I said, yeah, it does remind me a whole lot of Fallout. And the modding community around that game is insane too.
Yep.
So if it's anything like that game, I know a lot about that because of the mods on PS4. So hopefully they can really deck it out with some cool stuff.
I mean, that'd be cool. I definitely 30 hours worth of campaign. That's basically a movie. I don't know if you should really go into, taking video games and making them into movies, but
yeah, man, the campaign length is just one of the things that they mentioned. They mentioned that it's going to be the biggest Borderlands to date.
Yeah.
To say
hub world is.
To say that, and then to say that all of what they're doing is far more detailed and everything, it makes me think that they put a lot of care and attention to detail into this next installment. But as for that, I think that we hit pretty much everything. There's a few things we forgot to mention. Like, there's going to be a new hub world.
Yo.
Called what was it? The ship. What was the ship's name?
Century.
Salvation or something.
Salvation. It started with an S.
Sanctuary.
That's right. Sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
That's
The new ship where it's going to house all your characters, and each character has their unique room. And just from the gameplay we saw, it seems like the rooms are going to be really specific to your character and unique to what you want in there, where you can like hang some guns up on the wall.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It was really, really awesome, and hopefully come September 13th we can dig into that. And
hell yeah.
Man, who knows, maybe they'll bring crossplay.
That would be, that'd be pretty cool. There is no rumors of crossplay with that yet. I mean, they are like the only game that will come out in 2019 with split screen. But
yeah, exactly. And that's one thing. Hopefully they fix a little bit of that split screen.
Oh, that was rough.
We were playing the pre-sequel and it like clips off maybe like an inch of your screen on either one of those screens. But yeah, anyway. So Borderlands 3 is going to be awesome. Can't wait for September. But as for things that are happening around now, next week we have Detective Pikachu coming out, and this week we had the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer.
What a trailer drop!
It's really an interesting time in video game cinema. The review for Detective Pikachu came out from IGN. They gave it like an 8.5, which is pretty good. I thought it was going to score a little lower. They said that it has
Ryan Reynolds, man.
Heart.
Come on.
So I'm definitely gonna take a peek at that. But that Sonic trailer, dude, what do you think?
All right, so I watched that Sonic trailer this morning. Didn't know it was going to drop. Didn't know anything about it. Was scrolling through my Facebook this morning, laying in bed next to my wife, and saw the Sonic trailer. And she turned over and was like, "What the hell are you watching?"
Yeah, that's a reaction for sure. And man, the visual style that they're going for, I can see what they were maybe trying to do, where they were trying to bring it more towards reality, but that's not what people want. People want just the video game in real life. Just give us the Sonic that we've always known and loved. Just bring it. Give them some like some fur visuals like Pikachu in the new movie, like make him look soft or whatever, but don't change his like limbs, and it's all disproportionate, and it's so weird.
It definitely, it's a little weird. There's those, the trailer is kind of funny. I mean, I like
it is.
The trailer's funny, like, especially, like, the start of the trailer where he runs past the cop, and the cop's like, what? And then he takes off those shoes, and he's just got a pile of, like, burnt up sneakers.
Yeah,
that's pretty fun.
His, like, underground hideout or whatever was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious because there were a few points in the trailer where they showed the rings being used as portals and stuff. I wonder if they're gonna like explain that Sonic's like from another dimension or something like that.
Well, I also noticed
get really crazy with it.
I mean, the traditional villain for Sonic, Eggman, or whatever you want to call him, because there's a debacle based off of region.
Right, Dr. Robotnik, Eggman, they were two different, Let's not get into it.
Yeah. Depending, whatever you want to call him, it almost seemed like he was working for the government, and the government was trying to stop Sonic.
Yeah.
Which makes Sonic kind of like a villain. I don't really know what the take is going to be like. What really is going on in this movie?
I mean, the whole thing is just confusing. From start to finish, it's just weird. But there is a little glimmer of hope as to the actual style of Sonic. That it was either the director or one of the writers tweeted out that they heard the feedback from the people and that they're going to take it back to the drawing board. So maybe we'll see a little bit of a change. Maybe not too drastic because it seems like they have a lot of it really panned out, but CGI wise, I could see them maybe changing a couple of small details, not making him a furry fucking freak. So we have two heads of the coin as far as video game movies go. We have the Pikachu movie, which seems to be doing really well, and we have this trailer for the new Sonic movie that seems to have people up in arms already. And it's only been a few days, maybe a week now. But, video game movies, hit or miss.
I mean, either they make it happen or they just fall to the ground. Look at all the live-action failures out there.
God. What was, the guy that's starring in this new Sonic movie, the cop, he was in that movie Hop with the CGI rabbit too. Oh. And they have a picture there was a side-by-side picture on Instagram or something like that, where it's him and the rabbit sitting side by side in a car, and then it's him and Sonic sitting side by side in a car. No. It's the exact same shot. It's so weird that he found himself back in that. I think it was over a span of like 10 years now. It was like 2008 or 9 when that movie came out before, and
that's so funny.
Crazy. But yeah, anyway, so to close out the show, I wanted to kind of get a little bit more of that E3 hype going. We had a little bit last week where we kind of went through the schedule a little bit. It was clunky, admittedly, but I wanted to ask, what game are you most anticipating being shown at E3, just to top off the podcast with a cherry?
So my most anticipated, and/or the one I'm looking forward to the most, definitely gonna be Skull and Bones. I find myself wanting to be a pirate.
Yeah.
And there's games out there that allow you to be a pirate, but I just don't like their ship combat as much. I don't really love just kind of the way that they run the games themselves. Like Sea of Thieves, you have to have friends to play with, but you also can only have 4 friends to play with. So I feel like if I'm a pirate running a pirate ship,
right, I'm
gonna have more than 4 friends to play with. But like, what's the other one? Black Wake, which is a computer-only game.
Right.
But it's a lot like Sea of Thieves, but there's only there's pirates, and then there's the Navy. So your pirates are Navy, and you have to you just fight it out. It's a small ship, a medium ship, and a big ship. And the small ship's 8 people. The big ship's the small ship's 6 people. The medium ship's 8 people, and then the big ship is like 16.
Wow. So it's taking like what Sea of Thieves did, but like expanding on it.
Yeah.
It was like Sea of Thieves is kind of, I think it was one person can have like a skiff ship.
Yep.
And if it were 2 or more, you'd get a little bit bigger of a
get
ship.
a slope.
Then 4, is it max 4?
Yeah, it's max 4 you get on a team, and it turns it into a galleon. So, which, I don't know, 4 people just... It's not a lot of people to run a pirate ship, and I like the big grand scheme games. That's what the planet side too, you know.
The gameplay that I did see of Skull and Bones, I forget what E3 it was at. I think, it was
they had
2017?
it in 17, and they had some in 18. But
yeah. So the gameplay I saw, the first one, I can't quite remember if I saw any after that, but the first time they showed it was actually really promising. And Black Flag, the ship battles in that were some of my favorite parts of that game, where you had the legendary ships that you could go fight, and those were really fun to do, really challenging. You had to really spec out your ship the way you needed to fight them.
Yeah.
Whether it be, I think you had the option of like grape shot that really attacked sails and slowed speed, or maybe I'm just making it up, but there were like net shots that slowed down damage output. So hopefully they can put some of that customizable options into Skull and Bones and actually bring it out and show it off as like a full-fledged title, because we've seen kind of like really hard, rough work in progress gameplay lately. Hopefully they can just push that bad boy to the finish line. That'd
be fantastic. The game that it has to kind of succeed over is it's a game. Originally, it was called Caribbean. Caribbean ! To be specific.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic, man. It's called Caribbean, which turned into a standalone off of called Blood and Gold. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with the... Oh, now I'm going to draw a blank on the name of them. I always draw a blank on the name of the game. It's essentially it's kind of like a Risk type battlefield where you're top down, it's third person, and your ship can kind of sail around top down.
Okay.
And
Civilization?
It's kind of like Civilization, but either way, it's you drop down, you can kind of like you can float around the flat map, the 2D map. Mm-hmm. And when you interact with specific points on the 2D map, like towns or other ships or stuff like that, it kind of like sucks you into the 3D world where you can like have your full-fledged ship battles, and you can have your, town interactions and like go talk to the people, and like it allows you to pretty much do anything, but it's a mod off of I'll have to get the game name for next week.
Just remind me to put it in the show notes. We'll talk about it for sure.
Yeah, but hopefully it has a little more meat to it than it's what it's going up against. But I mean,
so
what about you, huh?
My most anticipated, it's probably not a shock to you. I've talked to you about it, but
very well aware.
They've CD Projekt Red confirmed that they're going to be at E3. I don't know on what stage. That's still a surprise, but Cyberpunk 2077, man, this game looks so good.
Yeah,
I watched that 40 some odd minute gameplay trailer at least 10 times. And I'm so excited for this game. The aesthetic alone is something that I've been dying for in a big RPG like theirs. And if it's anywhere as deep as The Witcher 3 was, I'm totally on board. And The Witcher 3 had so much gameplay and DLC that was free, but then the paid DLC was even better, and it brought whole new worlds and weapons and storylines. And if they can put just like 75% of the effort that they put into, which I know is not the case, these guys are gonna blow this out of the water, and they're gonna blow my mind and everybody's mind. I'm so sure of it. If they can put just a little bit of the effort that they put into The Witcher 3, it's gonna be an incredible title, and it's supposed to come out later this year, is what they slated it for last time they talked about it, but I'm not quite sure if they're gonna hit that, whether it's gonna be an early next year thing, because a lot of game developers and stuff like that have been releasing some really big titles in the early part of the year.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff scheduled.
Yeah, so that I'm super pumped for that. The just the whole RPG depth is what excites me most about it, just because getting in there and tinkering with all kinds of like the cybernetic enhancements you can get, and the way that you can use your abilities. Like they took a chunk of the gameplay demo that they showed before. Towards the end, they showed a higher level character that could use the scythe blades from the concept art.
That's pretty cool.
Those are so dope. So I cannot wait for that game. But yeah, like I said, it's been kind of a thin week. I think that's everything we've got this week. Definitely tune in next week. We're gonna have some more stuff to talk about. We'll talk about some more updates and whatnot. One thing I needed to get off my chest before we sign off is Battlefield finally addressed the visibility of players.
Oh, yes.
That patch is finally coming through, where you can actually each individual player has lighting. So now it's dynamic as you move around the world. You can see them a little bit better on darker backdrops. So I'm gonna have to check that out. I'll have my thoughts on that next week.
I wonder if they're working on something for that loot drop issue.
Oh man, yeah, that'd be good too, because I still haven't dropped back into
Firestorm.
Firestorm since I had the 2 wins in a row, which was amazing. Never felt better in a battle royale game than just winning 2 back to back in like your first night of playing. So good. But yeah, till next week. Peace.